Hi there, and welcome once again to Ms. Lyle's Library. This is installment number 7, and today I'm going to share with you a box I have from China. It is a what's called Cinnabar box. It's Chinese lacquerware. So I will show it to you up close and personal. It has Chinese style roses. It has the lacquerware all around, and we'll discuss what lacquerware is. But on the top, it has some very detailed, including the background. Not sure if you could see that. If I move it in, maybe a little bit, maybe a little. So this is what we're going to be discussing today is the art of lacquerware in China. So just to begin, what is cinnabar? When we hear cinnabar, it's actually a mineral. It's a toxic mercury sulfide, but don't be afraid. It's only toxic with overexposure, as in those that work with the cinnabar. It's a mineral, and the mineral is used for its bright red color. It's used as a pigment. When it is a mineral, it's called cinnabar, but when they grind it to a pigment, it's called vermilion. And vermilion was the most expensive color of red in the ancient world and even up until the 20th century. So you might have heard of vermilion, and that is used in a lot of the lacquerware that you will see. But the word cinnabar and vermilion are used interchangeably. It was carved into jewelry or ornaments for thousands of years in many parts of the world. So what are we talking about? What parts of the world? Well, in the Near East, like China and Japan, it was used in a rouge, like a blush type cosmetic, and also used in medicine. And some of you in World History 1 might remember that Qin Shi Huangdi, the first emperor, he used mercury to try and find immortality, and that's what did him in. So please don't lick your mercury boxes, your cinnabar boxes. Also, it was used for writing on oracle bones in the early Zhou dynasty. Those are the ones, the cattle bones or the tortoise shells that they would use. They would write the Chinese characters on it, and then they would ask the spirits and the ancestors whether there was going to be a good harvest, whether the king was going to win in the war, things like that. So very, very ancient first Chinese writing system that we're talking about here. It was also used by the Olmecs, and the Olmecs are in Central America. They are the people before the Mayas and the Aztecs, and they used it in royal burial chambers as a powder. They covered the sarcophagus, that's that box that the body is placed in. They covered the body, and it's often used as an imitation for blood because it has that bright red color. And the largest mercury mines in the world, though, are in Spain. So it's also used in Europe by the Greeks and the Romans. And in Anatolia, so Turkey, and in South America as well, in some burials in Peru and Chile. So the most famous things that you might see made out of cinnabar are these carved Chinese lacquerware boxes. And it became a symbol of luxury because it's extremely time consuming. So what you do is you would take a wooden box or a metal box, and then you would mix the cinnabar with this tree sap, and that makes the cover. And so you would paint on layers. It would take days for the layers to dry, and you'd paint on another layer and another layer and another layer until you got it to the thickness that you wanted. And then you would carve your designs into the actual lacquerware of the box. So you would be carving into the layers that you had painted on top of the box. And you can see why that would be very, very time consuming. The layers upon layers. So the subject, well, what did they make these boxes of? Most of them were decorative designs or landscape designs like flowers. Mine has flowers. Mine also has rocks. So landscape designs, birds, plants. You could also have religious writing or symbols on the boxes, animals, and sometimes you can find dragons. So, there's lots of Chinese, Japanese dragons. It also is found in Japan. and obviously it spread through cultural diffusion to Japan from China, because Japan had a lot of influence from China, kind of like big brother, little brother. So this is less toxic today than before, because a lot of the pieces today are not made with cinnabar. They're just used with the tree resin and something that is the color of the cinnabar. But this resin-based polymer that they use, it's hard to tell whether this is real cinnabar or whether it is imitation cinnabar. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I did watch some videos on it, but I'm still kind of undecided. I don't have the tools to inspect this and see. I did buy this at an antique store, and you could find cinnabar if you like this. You could find cinnabar jewelry. You could find cinnabar plates. You could find cinnabar trays and boxes at many antique stores. It's very common to find these. The widespreadness of this cinnabar all around the world kind of, it can help us reveal much about ancient trading patterns. So we know that, in Greece and in Rome, they were using cinnabar from Spain, and that's pretty far to be trading this red pigment. In fact, when we think about Rome, we think about red, and the red that you're thinking of is this red here, the red of the cinnabar. But it culturally influenced for millennia all over the world. China, Europe, the Americas, and real or fake, I don't care, because I love my cinnabar box. So see you next time. Bye.